relegated already, aren't they? You have to feel,
it's all but mathematical, and it's not looking great for
Oldham either.
Oldham either. No, it's not. They've got. I think Dewsbury have got 3 wins on them. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Newcastle and Dewsbury are both quite a good chunk ahead.
I can't see Oldham winning three more this year, I'm afraid.
No. Swinton will get to sort of potentially walk out with a proud record of played every game, though, because they have done so far.
Yeah.
They won't, because they have to go to Toulouse at some point, don't they?
Yeah, but that's not their fault.
No.
It was round 15 in League One. It finished London Scholars 14, Keighley 34, Workington 18, North Wales 40 in an absolutely sensational result. Shout North Wales Team of the Year this year.
They're definitely Team of the Week, Team of the Month.
They've got to be in that way, innit? They've got to be in the conversation because they've outperformed expectations massively.
And that's back to back Barrow and Workington.
Yeah, teams they're going to be up against in the playoffs.
Yep.
So yeah, that counts good for them. Coventry 50, West Wales 18. It was Doncaster 26, Barrow 18. And yet another draw in League One. Rochdale 34, Hunslet 34. There's been loads of draws this year.
Yeah, well, Hunslet love a draw. They've had 3, haven't they, themselves? And Doncaster have had 3 too. So in the standings, Workington are still top despite losing this week. They have 79% win success rate ahead of Barrow, who have 75%. North Wales improved to 64% and Doncaster to 61%. Keighley are on 57% with Rochdale on 54% chasing them in the playoff race. Hunslet are on 50% and Coventry on 43% just behind them. So I think it's probably just too early to say they're completely out of it. Certainly Hunslet. And then Scholars have 23% and West Wales have 3% from their one draw.
Indeed. It was round 23 of the NRL. It finished Titans 20, Storm 34, Raiders 18, Seagulls 19, Panthers 25, Rabbitohs 12.
Alan Walker said, game of 2 halves, but the Bunnies' half was a half hour. They had to make a statement going into the finals. They didn't. The White Rabbit got cooked. Sauce got peppered. The chin showed why this decade is his. Despite a 40-20 for the ages, Renault showed his decade's just about done. The 2 best attacks in the game, but the rinky-dink Panthers D won it. What a game. A thriller, no filler, and all back in 3 weeks. Get it in ya.
It was West Tigers 20, the Sharks 50, Bulldogs 16, Knights 22, Eels 32, Cowboys 16, Dragons 22, Roosters 40, and the Broncos 24, the Warriors 22.
And the standings, that's the Storm. I forgot to do the stats again, guys. The Storm led on 42 points, with Panthers on 40 and Rabbitohs on 38. Roosters are 4th on 32, with Seagulls and Eels chasing them both on 30 points. Knights are in 7th on 24 and looking good for the finals now, with just a few weeks left. The Sharks, Titans and Raiders are all on 20, and the Warriors, Dragons and West Tigers are all on 18. So all up for grabs for that last playoff spot, it looks like. Broncos and Cowboys have 14 each. Bulldogs in last have 6 points. In other games, the Widnes Vikings women took on the Barrow women, and Pop the Viking was there as his young daughter Grace continues to be inspired into the Rugby League fraternity there. By the women's game. 20 points to 6 it was a win for the Vikings in a top of the table clash, Paul said. It was a real tough game with the score 6-all at half time. Widnes got a penalty for a ball steal and took the 2. A mistake from Barrow when they dropped a bomb and Widnes took their chance to go 14-6 up. Widnes pushed over in the final minute with the conversion being good and a 26 win for the Vikings. So yeah, good to get some fan views in from the lower reaches there of the ladies' game. Good to see. That's all our results covered. We're now going to make our predictions. What's going to happen in the next few days for Super League and the next week for the rest of it. So it's round 21. No catchy nicknames for this midweek round of fixtures, Alan, but it starts on Wednesday night, 7:45 p.m. kickoff on Sky for Wigan versus Leeds, and it feels like a crucial game for Leeds, I would suggest.
Not just for Leeds.
Well, Wigan are just a passenger in the playoffs. So,
yeah. And obviously, I didn't see much of Leeds, but I think I've declared them as the most average of average teams this year. Wigan are playing well below that, although at the moment. Leeds by 6.
Okay, I mean Bateman being a miss for Wigan is a factor, but Leeds will be missing Gale, won't they? I think if Wigan, look, this is me giving Lamb credit for a game plan, and I think that's gone now. But if they can counter Dwyer and Leeming, who have been quite impressive for Leeds, then I don't feel like Leeds will have a whole lot else that Wigan would have to worry about too much, because it all for me comes off the back of those two, with Gale out, Allegski out, Hanley potentially out, Hurrell out. So yeah, I'm hoping Wigan finds some ideas in attack as well. Maybe Lamb's talked about mixing it up a bit. I think reading between the lines for me, that's Jay Field at fullback and Zach Hardaker back into the centres where he played last year. I think Wigan by 10.
Always the optimist. I like
it. Thursday, 7:30 p.m. because they like mixing things up over at the HA Bell. Salford versus Catalans. First question is this going to happen?
No. This ain't happening as far as I'm concerned.
I'd be surprised too.
If you can't fly over the weekend, I don't see how you could fly on the Thursday afterwards. So I'm going to predict it being a draw, because I don't think it'll happen.
Okay. I mean, if it does happen, Catalans are winning it for me, so I'll go Catalans by 20, because Salford's queue's on the rack and Richard Marshall's kind of going to be feeling shitty about that, I think. But anyway.
Yeah, I've done that with all games postponed. I've predicted them all as draws this year, so I'm not going to stop doing that, because I confidently predict none of them are going to happen.
In a run of 7:45 p.m. kickoffs on Thursday night, the first one to talk about is St Helens, who are going to put, let's say, 20 on Lee.
Saints are boring, but Lee is still, well, they've had the win. Saints by 28.
Over in West Yorkshire, Huddersfield are hosting a rested Warrington side. I can't see anything but Warrington winning. Warrington by 16.
That's exactly what I was going to say, so I'm going to stick to it.
Okie dokes. The Sky game is a really enticing one, especially when it comes to the playoff race. You know, this means more than just the Fat Boy Fitsis derby. This is, you know, it's got some on it. Hull FC versus Castleford. I'm quite looking forward to this one.
It has all.
What do you think is going to happen?
It has all the elements of a good one. I'm going to say FC by 2. I think it'll be exceedingly close.
Do you know what then? Cast by 2.
Very good.
Because I'm not sure. I'm genuinely not sure. I think these are two evenly matched sides. It depends on. I suppose it depends on what FC choose to do with Connor. Will they keep him at fullback and bring McNamara back in, or now Shaw's got back in the first team squad, will they play it safe from an experience point of view, put Shaw at fullback and Connor in the halves? I think that limits them.
Yeah, anybody not playing Jake Connor at fullback knows nothing about rugby league. So there you go.
And then the final one to talk about is Hull KR versus Wakefield. This has got a potential to be an open, high-scoring game if the weather's right, and I still think with whether the weather's right or not, Hull KR will probably snatch it.
I think KR should win this one fairly comfortably. KR by 14.
I'll go KR by 8.
Okay.
Because I think they've got a propensity to concede tries, and Wakefield might score a couple late ones, but. Right, let's look a bit further ahead then, because there's 5 teams in the mix for 3 places in the playoffs, isn't there? Really, Wigan, Leeds, Hull KR, Hull FC, and Castleford. So, assuming broadly that all teams play their last 5 games, let's start with Cas because they need the most. They've got Hull FC away, then they've got Wigan at home. Both those games are on telly, and then they've got Salford at Magic Weekend before they finish with 2 huge potentially matches: Hull KR away and Warrington at home. So, out of those 5 matches, I would say Castleford need to win. What, they've won 9 so far, and Wigan have already won 12.
I think they need to win 4 out of those 5.
I think. Yeah, I think. Probably. Well, if they win 4 out of the 5, I think they're in. If they win 3 out of the 5, I think they're not. So they'll beat Salford. Let's assume that.
I kind of assume they'll lose to Warrington as well, but it depends on their
predicament at the time.
playoff kind of position.
Yeah, because Warrington could already be nailed in 3rd at that point, couldn't they?
They might, exactly. So they might play the kids. So yeah, I think it's a tough order for Cass. I think winning 4 out of 5 at this time of year is difficult, but it's still in their hands.
I think they're only going to win 3 of those at most. Leeds have got Wigan away, then Wakefield away, before they've got Hull FC at home, so huge match there. St Helens away in the penultimate round, and then in the final round, they've got Hull KR at home.
Some absolutely big. There's some big matches between teams.
So
fighting.
they play 3 of the teams around them, and in that regard, it's in their hands. Let's say they're losing away at Saints.
Yeah.
And let's say they're winning away at Wakefield, just to make things more simple. If they win the other 3 games, there's no doubt about it, they're in. I think Leeds will only win 2 more games.
In total?
Yeah, because I think we're going to beat them. Because I'm deluded.
I think because it's in their hands, I think winning 2 of those 3 crucial games will be enough, and I think with their Wakefield win, I think 3 wins will do it for them. So I think Leeds will get in.
I think the winner of Leeds versus Hull at Magic Weekend will be in the 6.
Okay.
But I think Hull might win that, so we'll see. Let's move on to Hull. They've got Castleford at home, Salford away, then there's that big Magic Weekend, then they finish with a home game against Wigan before an away game against Wakefield. So I think it's probably fair to say if they don't win at least 2 of those, they've fucked it massively.
That sounds like the easiest running I've heard so far.
They only have to. I think they only have to win 1 of Castleford, Leeds, and Wigan because they will win the other 2.
This is becoming interesting.
So I've thus far got Hull FC and Leeds in, haven't I? Hull KR have got Wakefield at home, Huddersfield away, Lee away, Castleford at home, and then Leeds away. So you've got to feel like they should win 3 games. So that means I've got Wigan out somehow when they're in the best position. And in a minute, I'm going to tell you how Wigan are going to finish in it. So
far, in terms of fixtures, all of those teams are thinking we can do this. All of them are thinking that.
Leeds, Hull KR last game will be a winning in match, won't it? From what we've seen.
It looks like it might be.
And then finally we finish with Wigan, who've got Leeds at home, Castleford away, Warrington at home, Hull away, and then Catalans at home. Last game of the season. But Wigan only have to win 2 games.
Yeah. Have you seen how you're playing?
But they've won more games than the rest of them so far.
I do. Yeah, but you're coming into it on the worst form. I think. I think you might genuinely. I think you might drop to 6th, but I think you might just squeeze in.